Let's break it down Kenny Wallace way. Well, Herman, he was cheating. Denny Hamlin was cheating. He deserved to be disqualified. I get it, okay? I brought some props today. So why did Denny Hamlin get disqualified? This one's going to blow your mind. 0.012. Tape. 5 inches long. Now, what they did, they took a piece of tape, and there were some little ripples on the body, on the front nose. So, just like your nose. See how they got the ripples? Well, what they did is they went in there and they put the tape like this to smooth it out, right? Then what they did is when they wrapped the car, they took the wrap, the M&M stuff, and they went over it like this. Okay, you get it, right? So our nose has got this contour in it. See the contour in your nose? Same thing with the nose of a race car. So what they do is they put this little packing tape. They put the tape over it, and then they went over it like this with the M&M's wrap. So now it's smooth, right? So that is when you go in the wind tunnel, you find out this is where we are in NASCAR right now, right? It's almost like we're Formula One. Remember, we're a bunch of rednecks in NASCAR. Come on, man, beat the shit out of me. Now we're down to where we're taking packing tape and smoothing areas on the car. And when these guys go to the wind tunnel, oh boy, this adds a little downforce. This makes my front end turn a little bit better. Now, me, I'm a realist, right? That's why 2 days later, not 2 days later. Let me reinstate this. Chase Elliott is awarded the win. The third place finisher, right? Most popular driver. Remember the disclaimer. Chase Elliott's awarded the win. Now we got the fans going at it. Now it's, Denny Hamlin's wearing the black hat. He's the bad guy. And then you got, Chase Elliott. He's the good guy. So now it's not about cheating anymore. Well, you're cheating. Look, stop it. Y'all cheat your taxes. Y'all, everybody's a cheater in life. But, when you really want to get somebody, capital cheating. Cheater! Except these are all the Chase Elliott fans. So now what we got going on is we got the Chase Elliott fans and the Denny Hamlin fans, right? Now it's no longer, I don't like Denny Hamlin. He's a cheater. Denny Hamlin's a cheater. So in people's minds, the way you get people back is you call them a cheater. But leave it up to the Herminator to really break it down. Everybody cheats. It's just that in your mind, if you call him a cheater, oh my God, you're going to get him. You're going to make him feel bad about himself. So what happens in the NASCAR garage area, everybody's like, damn, that was pretty brilliant. How did they get caught? So in the garage area, in the reality of life, attaboy, that was a good move, because in life, it's competition. You don't play by the rules. How about Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace? What a show. Now, I must say this. I believe NASCAR should give those two some extra money because they put on a show. I have never witnessed so many comments on social media. This one lit you all up. And I got to admit, I paid attention too. So let's break it all down. Let me, as the old Herminator says, let me de-bullshit this whole deal for you. My dear friend Andy Petrie taught me that me and Andy get a little and talk about something. He goes, well, by God, Herman, we'll just de-bullshit this right now. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break this down Herminator style. The Herminator. All right. We're going down the back straightaway. We got Kevin Harvick on the inside, and we got Bubba Wallace on the outside. Kyle Larson's got this run. He's like, I can't let off the gas. My God, I'm going to pass them both. So Kyle Larson goes to the inside, clears Harvick, Not even close. Harvick's like, go on. It's a long race. Harvick shows his veteran, maybe Harvick didn't like it, 3 wide, but hey, there was plenty of room. You take it. We do it at Daytona, Talladega all the time. These guys are like 90% throttle. They're lifting a little bit. So anyway, Larson clears them, right? Bubba stays in it, right? Now, here's where it all goes bad. Obviously, Kyle Larson is going to pass them both. And Kyle Larson gets loose. He starts wiggling up. And he knows Bubba's kind of out there still. Not side by side, but out there, right? Now, in my opinion, you got 2 choices if you're Bubba Wallace. You see, now this is the way we race. You see that Kyle Larson needs room, right? But because I believe Bubba Wallace has a chip on both of his shoulders, not just one, I'm going to show him. I watched the replay over and over and over. Kyle Larson never even breathed. Maybe he breathed on him, but Kyle Larson never touched Bubba Wallace. Never touched him. However, it reminds me of the great Dick Trickle. I didn't give you much room, but I gave you enough room. Bubba Wallace, on his own, decided to run his own car into the wall. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. You can say whatever you want, but I know what I'm talking about. Okay? After the race, Bubba does the interview and says, I don't lift for nobody. Hey, you wrecked your stuff. You ran your car into the wall. All Bubba has to do is realize that he's coming up. Kyle's coming up. You got to let out the gas and then go back to racing him. Then he loses his mind, right? Now, if he backs out the gas, he goes on racing. Now, Bubba runs his own self into the wall, okay, because Kyle scares him, and Bubba's got chips on his shoulder. Now, remind you, I'm not talking about Bubba. I'm not talking bad about Bubba Wallace. I'm telling you what Bubba's doing here. Now, after he runs himself into the wall, now this is where he gets really pissed, more pissed. Takes out Kyle Larson and wrecks himself too. Now, see, this is where everybody thinks they're going to be Dale Earnhardt Sr. Dale Earnhardt Sr. would have never wrecked himself. Bubba did 2 things wrong. Bubba ran himself into the wall and then got pissed and then went down and wrecked Kyle Larson and wrecked himself. So he did 2 things wrong. What's that old saying? You did 2 things wrong. What is that? You thought, and you thought wrong. So Ross Chastain's running 7th or 8th. He's out of the championship chase. And Ross is just young enough where he played those video games. Remember? He said he played 2005. That means he might have raced me, because I believe I was in some video games maybe in 2005. And he said they tried it on the video games. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. So listen to this. Ross Chastain going down the back straightaway. 5 laps to go at Martinsville. He decides in his head that he as he's racing, he's kind of got this peripheral vision. He's got his eye looking at the wall. He's like, He sees that there's no gaps in the wall. In other words, this wall is really smooth, even the pit gate. So when you come up at turn 4, you got some sections. If I take my car and I lean it against the wall, smash on the gas and go, what's my car going to dig into? This is crazy shit. This is out of the movies. This is something that you all right. This is a James Bond deal. This is like, that's so stupid. Why are they insulting my intelligence? You can't do that. Except, remember, this was one for the history books. So here we go. We're going down the back straightaway with Ross Chastain. He has surveyed this corner for 5 laps. He decides, now remember, these are little bump shifters. They're called sequential shifter. They're not an H pattern. You don't got to go, you don't got to do nothing. You just tap it, bang. They were shifting the whole race, every corner. So he goes down the back straightaway. He holds it wide open, and then just goes, boom, goes to fifth gear, hits it wide open, and goes around that corner with his car rubbing the wall all the way around to where everybody watching it on TV, including myself, thought they sped the film up. You know how they used to do years ago to speed the film up? And it was even Jeff Burton, it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, race fans, we're not speeding the film up. As he did that, he passed 6 cars or so, went into turn 3 wide open, flew through the corner with his car rubbing the wall. We've all dreamed of doing this, right? Except in my dream, I thought we'd have little wheels. A wheel on the right rear, a wheel on the right front. We just go, vroom. And I've thought about it before. Who hasn't? He passes like 5 cars so fast that it's an animated cartoon. It blows by Denny Hamlin. Now, he didn't need to pass Denny Hamlin, but he gained enough points to where he bumped Brad Keselowski right in the ass. And by the way, Brad Keselowski was found too light at the end of the race, so he was disqualified. So now he's got all these points, and it's all good to go. And everybody is like, I don't have enough hair. Everybody's hair is standing straight up. Everybody's like, it reminds me of the great Jack Buck who called a Cardinal game. I don't believe what I just saw. It was unbelievable. I believe Carl Edwards has all the money he needs, doesn't need any more. He's got a lot of money, and I believe he said to hell with it. When he realized that's what was going on back in those days, he says, I'm out. I got all the money I need. If this is the game y'all are going to play, I was serious. You know, Carl's thinking, I'm going to win this championship. And then all of a sudden, the Jacques Debris comes out. I believe Carl Edwards left with a broken heart. Quote unquote from Kenny Wallace. I think Carl Edwards left NASCAR with a broken heart. Now, after that, this is what I think happened with NASCAR. I believe that Toyota had a sit-down meeting with NASCAR as reported by David Bianchi, Jeff Gluck on Twitter. I read the whole deal. It's there for you to read. Remember, I'm just commenting on what I read, and I'm giving my opinion. None of this is fact. I'm just like you. Hey, Wallace, what happened to Carl Edwards? I'm telling you what I think happened to Carl Edwards. So because of that whole fake caution, Carl Rex, you know, he just leaves NASCAR with a broken heart. Can't believe it. So now I believe the judging by the hip in NASCAR, I believe those days are over. It is true that years ago NASCAR did judge by the hip. You know, they didn't have all the tools in place. Like when the caution come out, where's everybody on the racetrack? Now they got that. They got a line underneath every section area of the racetrack. They can show you fact. Now when we look at anything, tech inspection, they're hands off. I believe that if Carl Edwards could have stuck it out another couple, 3 years, he would be reaping the rewards from this new era in NASCAR.